Hey folks, welcome along to another video tutorial here in Microsoft's MakeCode Arcade. In this lesson we are going to be creating a side scroller kind of game where we are a little monkey that has to jump over some barrels that will be flying across the screen towards it. The longer you can stay alive and avoid those barrels, the better your score is going to be, and the way you win this game is basically just competing with your friends, seeing who can get the highest score before they die. Okay, there will be some little coins flying through the sky as well that you can collect to get some bonus points, but that's about it. Okay, so let's have a look at this game and then we'll get started on creating it. So we use the A button here, or the space bar on your keyboard, to jump over these barrels coming towards you. As you can see, I'm getting a point each time a barrel appears on the screen, and I'm also getting a point each time I collect a little star. Eventually you probably will hit a barrel, and that will mean it's game over straight away. So you get your final score at the end there, you can compare it with your friends and see who can get the highest score. Alright, that's it, so let's get stuck into creating it. So jump on over to the arcade.makecode.com website, and in the top left there, hit the orange button that says New Project. We are going to call our game today Barrel Jump, and click on Create. Now, you probably know by now that the first thing I like to do in my games is go to the scene drawer in our toolbox and set up the background. And we're going to use a background image today. Okay, so click on this background image, and all I want to do is grab the fill tool and color it black for me to start with. We're going to make our game at night time, so we're going to do a black sky, and then we're going to put some stars over the top of it. And we only need to do simple little dots for the stars, so grab your pencil tool, grab the color white, and just randomly click around the page, put a few stars in your sky. Don't go too overboard. I'm probably going to do a few too many, but alright, I just noticed one little stuff up there. I probably put two dots together, but there we go. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to click on Done, and in a moment you'll see that that background appears in the simulator up here, and it looks like I guess a starry night sky, which looks good. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get that background scrolling across the page, and to do that we need to add an extension into our toolbox. So go to the extensions option here, and we're going to search for the word scroll and press enter, and you'll see the arcade background scroll option. Okay, and what that does is it brings in this extra drawer into our toolbox called scroller, and we're going to grab the second block out of there. It says scroll background with VX and VY. If you get a preview of it now, it's moving to the left, which is good, but it's also moving in an upwards direction, which is not good. That's on the Y-axis. Okay, Y-axis goes up and down. The X-axis goes left and right. So I don't want my background going up or down, so I'm going to set that Y value. VY is just velocity on the Y-axis. I'm going to set that to 0. But I will leave -50 there for the velocity on the X-axis. That will still drag it across to the left there and make it look like it's scrolling across the page. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my scenes, and I'm going to put in a tile map to make the ground that our monkey is going to be walking across. So we're going to go into the tile map section and choose the one that says set tile map 2. And we're going to create a tile map. First of all, we need to change the size of it. So down the bottom left where it says 16 by 16, can you please make it 10 by 8? That's the same size as our game screen, like on our simulator there, or on my little GameGo device that I will be downloading the game to later on. Okay, so just make sure you've got it 10 by 8, and then you just need to go through your tiles here and just pick something that looks like a decent looking ground icon. There's lots there you can pick from. Let's see if we can find a good looking one. That was the forest. Let's see if the dungeon's got anything good. Dungeon's pretty ordinary. Miscellaneous, we'll see what it's got. Yeah, nothing much. Let's just stick with something from the forest. So in the forest there, pick something that's going to resemble the ground for you, that your monkey can run on. I might go with either one of these, maybe this brownie coloured one. Let's see how it looks. Oh, it looks a bit weird. I'll go the green one. Okay, and using my line tool, I'm just going to click and drag straight across. There we go, that'll do. That's the ground that my little monkey's going to be running across. Before I finish up, I need to turn this into a wall. Okay, so I do that by just pressing this 3D block here and dragging over the top of it. Okay, and that will just put a red shade across the top of it, just showing that that is a wall, which means our monkey will be able to stand on it and won't actually fall through it and disappear off the game screen. I also want you to put a wall down the left-hand side of the page here. Okay, and the reason we put a wall there is, I guess I'll explain a little bit later on when we get to it, but it's going to have something to do with the barrels, and it's going to have something to do with the little coins that come flying across the screen. Okay, so let's press done, and we'll have a look at that. There we go. You can see that we've got the ground in there now. Doesn't look too bad. All right, so let's get our little monkey sprite in there now. So we bring out from the sprites drawer the set my sprite 2. I'm going to rename that variable, and I'm going to call it monkey, and press on OK. And the sprite that we're going to choose just comes from the gallery here, and I just want you to try and find the monkeys. Here they are. They're all facing the wrong way at the moment, so I'm just going to grab the first one there and just mirror it by flipping it horizontally. And click on done. Okay, so we've set monkey sprite to kind player. Next thing I'm going to do is get that monkey animated to make it look like he's just running along the ground there. So in the animation drawer, bring out the first section of code, and we're going to animate the monkey sprite. And then in frames, we're going to go to the gallery, and we're going to look for the monkey facing the right. There's a little video camera in the bottom left corner. Okay, if you hover over in there, you get a bit of a preview of what he's going to look like. Click on done. Okay, now we're going to change the interval here because he's moving pretty slow there at the moment. We'll try 100 and we'll see if we need to speed it up or not. And we're going to turn the loop on, otherwise the animation only plays once and we won't see him continue running. So turn that on and have a look in your simulator and see if that's a good enough speed. I think it is. So 100 milliseconds for the interval is a good speed. You can always adjust that if you want it to go faster by making the number smaller. We can slow it down by just choosing one of these larger options, but let's roll with that. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, we might move the monkey over here into the start position on the left as well. So in the scene option here, we're going to place the monkey. Here it is, just here on the tile map. So we're going to place the monkey on top of the tile map, column 1 and row 6. And that'll put him just down the bottom here, ready to do his running. Okay, if you click on your tile map and actually hover your mouse around this area, you can look down the bottom here next to where we resized it before, and it will tell you the coordinates of where your mouse cursor is. So I went with 1 and 6 because that's where my mouse cursor is at the moment. I could have come across to 2 and 6 or 3 and 6 if I wanted to, but column 1 row 6 is where I want him positioned. Okay, so he's looking good there at the moment. Next thing we might do is get our monkey jumping. Okay, and to do that we press the A button. So you're going to have to go to your controller option here and bring out on A button pressed. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this one here. So we're going to set the monkey's velocity on the Y axis. It's going to help him jump to -150. Okay, now let's test this out. So when it's running, I'll press A and he flies to the roof. Okay, the reason the monkey flew to the roof then was because we haven't added in any gravity to pull him back down to the ground. So we better do that now. That's going to go back in this on start section. Okay, so back in sprites here, we need to grab that same block of code, set the monkey, and we're going to set its acceleration on the Y axis there. Try 300 to start with. Let's just give that a test run. We'll press A. There we go, it pulls him back down. If I was to set that to something like 500, it should pull him down a bit quicker. Let's have a look. He doesn't jump as high. Okay, we're probably going to need him to go a bit higher than that to get over the barrels, so I'm going to leave it at 300 for now. Okay, yeah, so that's looking good. Now, I just want to test this one more time. Yeah, so if you press the A button very quickly while he's still in the air, he's going to keep jumping while he's still in the air. So you could, I guess, cheat if you wanted to and just keep your monkey in the air at all times. So we don't want that to happen. So what we're going to have to do is put in an if statement over here where we press the button A and make it only able to jump if our monkey's actually touching the ground there. Okay, so we need to go to the logic here and choose the if then statement and put that monkey inside of it there. But we need to change where it says true. Okay, we need to see if the monkey is hitting the wall on the bottom. So there should be a block in here. There it is, right down near the bottom here. It's called is my sprite hitting the wall. I'm going to put that on top of the true in that if statement. We're going to change it to monkey. So is the monkey hitting the wall at the bottom of the page? If it is, then we'll allow our monkey to go jumping. Otherwise, he won't be able to jump. So if we test that now, I can only press A once. Oh, sorry, I can press A as many times as I want, but he only jumps once in the air. Alright, so that is looking good. So our monkey, or our little player there, is pretty much done. So I'm going to push all that code off to the left. And we'll start on the next section, which is getting the barrels coming flying across the screen. Okay, now to do that, we're going to make it probably, every 2 seconds or so, have a barrel appear on the screen. So let's bring it out from the game drawer. On game update every 2 seconds. Okay, and this is where we can set up our next sprite, which is the little barrel. So I'm going to go in here and set a new sprite. So I'll rename this one to barrel. Click OK. And we'll set it, actually, I probably don't want to use that one. It's a very projectile one that we can use. Yeah, let's try and use that actually. I was thinking we could make it just a normal sprite, but sorry, I'll just backtrack there. We'll go now and make it a projectile. And we will choose, I think it's going to be this first one here. Projectile that from, no, we don't need from, we just need this second one. So we're going to set the projectile to projectile, and we're going to draw this projectile ourselves. So grab your circle tool. I'm going to grab the brown, and somewhere around the middle, click and drag out. It's not going to fit the page perfectly, as you can see, but near enough's good enough. And then we're going to bring another one out like so. We'll go to our fill bucket or fill tool now and grab orange and just start filling in this barrel. Grab our line tool now, back to the brown. We might draw a line through the middle like so. That's the first part of our barrel. Okay, so you can click on done there. And I might just set the, I will set that projectile there. I'll call it barrel. Set barrel to projectile. Okay, and as you can see, it's coming in from the wrong side at the moment. So I'm going to have to position it shortly. But we do want it basically moving from the right to the left. Okay, so let's start by saying 0 for the VY, because we don't want it to go up, we just want it to go straight across. And I want this barrel moving at different speeds. I know it's going the wrong way at the moment, don't worry, we'll fix that. But I want it to go at different speeds. So to do that, I'm going to go into maths here, choose pick random, and I'll have it moving anywhere from minus 150 to minus 50. That will get it moving the other way. So you can see these barrels heading across in the other direction now, which is all well and good. And not too bad. Then to make it look a bit more realistic, I might make these barrels start rolling across the page as well. So I'm going to go into my animation option here. I'm going to animate the barrels. Now to do this, we're going to have to go to our... Actually, I'm going to close that for a second, just go back over here and just copy this. I think if I go into my assets, I can click on that. I thought I could copy that, maybe not. I'll have to do it another way. I have to just select it using this selection tool, click and drag over it, and then press Control C to copy it. Okay, now I can go back to my animation here and paste in that first barrel. Then I'm going to go over to the right hand side here and just duplicate it by pressing that button there. Now I've got a second copy, and what I'm going to do here is grab the line tool and draw some lines going through the middle like so. And I'm going to grab my pencil and make it orange and just get rid of those original lines that I had. hopefully that's alright. It's a little bit funny. If we press, actually I might speed it up to about 100 there and press play. You can see what it's going to look like when it's spinning. Try it at 200 and see how that looks. Yeah, it looks probably a little bit better. So I'll leave it at 200 and click on done. Okay, and we're going to loop that. And now it's a bit hard to see still because they're flying across the top of the page, but those barrels do look like they are rolling now towards us. Okay, so to make it look a little bit better, we obviously want them down the bottom on the ground. So let's go back to our scene here and we'll choose the option to place those sprites on the tile map. Okay, we're going to place the barrel on top of the tile map, and it's going to be column 9, so over the right hand side of the page, and row 6, which is down on the top of the ground. There we go, so you can see them coming across the screen there now. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now each time we want, each time a barrel appears on the screen, we want to change our score by 1. So we get a point each time we see a barrel. And I want our barrels to destroy themselves when they hit the wall. So in the, I think it's in the sprites section here. Here it is. Where this bottom one, it says set monkey auto destroy off. We're going to change that to barrel. And we're going to choose the option to say destroy on wall and click on. So when it hits that invisible wall down the left hand side of the page we put in earlier, I'll show you again this just here, it will destroy our barrels. If we didn't do that, those barrels would just fly off the screen and they'd be floating around in no man's land. And if we were to play our game for quite a while, a lot of those barrels would build up outside of our game. Okay, and that could slow the game down or make it crash if there's way too many of them. So best to delete those barrels just as they leave the screen, or just before they leave the screen in this case. Okay, so that's looking good. I guess it's time to make a bit of a collision event between us and the barrels. So if we do hit the barrels, then it is game over. Okay, so in our sprites here, we need to look for the overlap. Here it is. One that says on sprite kind of player. Okay, and when that collides with the other sprite of kind projectile. Okay, what do we want to do? So we're going to go to game. There's two things we'll do here. One of them is going to be using the highest score as the best score, and the other one is just going to be game over, and set it to lose. Alright, let's test that. Oops, we'll just press play. Okay, perfect. So when we hit a barrel, we do die there now. That leaves us with, I guess, one last thing. Just some extra collectibles, I guess you could call them, or some extra coins to collect to help us earn some bonus points. Okay, so let's do another one of these on-game updates. And we'll make our coins appear in the sky at random times. So we're going to... Oops, I might just stop that for a sec. We might pick a random time, so instead of just every half a second, what we might do is make it 500 milliseconds or half a second to 3,500 milliseconds, so 3.5 seconds. So these little coins could appear anytime between half a second and every 3.5 seconds. Okay, we'll set this sprite up now. I'm going to give it a new name, so I'll rename it and I'll just call it coin. I assume it's going to be a coin. That looks a bit like a star. We'll go to our gallery here, and if you scroll down you'll see this little shape here. Just go with that. Click on done, and we might, oops, we won't rename it. We will add a new kind and we'll call it points. Click OK. Okay, so we've set the coin up to that little yellow sprite and it's of kind points. We're then going to make it start moving across the page. So let's go back to our sprites here, and we need to set the coin's velocity. So that'll be this one here. Set the coin's velocity on the x-axis to -100. Actually, I think I pulled the wrong one out. This is the one I wanted. So look for the one that has Vx and Vy on it. Sorry, I just brought out the wrong one. So set the coin velocity to, and we're going to put -100 on the X and 0 for the Y. That means it's going to come straight across the page and not go up anywhere in the sky. So hopefully you can see that there. Obviously not working as we want just yet, but they are starting to come across the screen. Okay, at the moment they're spawning out of the middle of the screen, so we'll need to work on getting them to start outside the right hand side of the screen and coming all the way across. We'll do that in just a minute. Before that I just want to animate it, so there was an option to animate this coin. So just go into the gallery there, and remember, look for the one with a little video camera in the left hand corner. Okay, you can hover over it, you can get a bit of a preview of what it looks like. I don't really like that white bit at the end actually, so I'm going to delete this last bit and just have those 2 frames there so it's flashing. I might speed her up a bit. I'll try 200. Yeah, that's pretty good. Click on done and turn that loop on. Okay, that way the coin will continue to animate. Let's have a look. Oops, I've turned it into a barrel. We want to animate the coin, not the barrel. My mistake. Let's try that again. There we go. So you can see those little coins flashing as they come across the screen. Looks good. Let's try and get these coins now in the right position so they start in the right spot, not in the middle of the page, but off to the right. So we will place these onto the tile map. So I'm going to place the coin on top of the tile map, and we'll put it at column number 9 and row number 4. Okay, and one last thing we'll do is we'll set it so that the coins destroy themselves when they hit the wall. So we'll set coin to destroy on wall and turn it on. So when it hits that wall on the left hand side, it should disappear. Let's have a look. So I can collect the coin. Sorry, I need to get one. There we go. Yeah, so those little coins, they're flashing and they're disappearing when they hit that left hand wall. I can't collect them and earn points yet, so we better do that. And then that should be the last thing we need to do in this game. Okay, so we need to make an overlap between our player and the coins. So let's go down to overlaps, and it's going to say on sprite of kind player, when it overlaps with the other sprite of kind points. Okay, we're going to play a sound. So go down to this little sound wave here, and we're going to choose in the background, and you can just go to the gallery there. I just like picking the jump sound, just a quick sound. Okay, and I'm going to change our score by 1. Where is it? There it is there. So we get a point every time we collect one of these little stars, and then we're going to destroy that star that we run into. So in sprites here, there should be an option to do some destroying. And we are going to destroy the other sprite. I'd like to get the other sprite from at the top here. Just right click on other sprite and duplicate it. Replace the word monkey with other sprite. Hit that plus sign too. And we might put in an effect. We'll do a confetti effect. And we'll make it a quick confetti effect that only lasts 100 milliseconds. So when we do collect those coins, they turn into like a colourful confetti ball. Well, I guess that's about it. Let's just give this a test run and see how we've gone. So we're jumping over things okay. We're dying okay. Let's just give that a bit more of a run. You see the confetti coming off the stars too as we collect them. Okay, that seems to be working pretty well. I'll just give it one last try just to make sure. Yeah, the barrels are spawning from the right place, so are the coins. That'll do. Alright, so I think we have ourselves a finished game. Okay, I'll just zoom back so you can have a look at that code in full. It's probably a bit hard to see. Let me zoom back in a bit. See if we can get it all on the one page. That up there. That goes well with that one there. That's all of it. Okay, so any dramas, just refer back to this screen and make sure that you've got everything exactly the same as me. But that's how you create a little jumping, I guess, side scroller kind of game. I will catch up with you blokes in the next video tutorial. So I'll see you soon.